Welcome to the Meet the Member, a new virtual initiative designed for members of the Brazil-Florida Business Council. The main purpose of this initiative is to provide a platform for our members to showcase their corporations, products, and services. And today, we have the pleasure of hosting Alexandre Pierantoni, Managing Director of Mergers and Acquisitions at Duff and Phelps. Welcome, Alexandre.
Thank you, Sueli. It's a pleasure to be with you today.
Thank you. Could you provide us an overview about Duff and Phelps and your positioning?
Definitely. Duff and Phelps is the global advisor that helps to protect, restores, and maximize value for clients in areas such as valuation, corporate finance, disputes and investigations, and cybersecurity. We work across several different sectors and companies and investors. With Kroll and Prime Clerk, we have around 4,000 professionals in 25 countries in the world. In Brazil, we are some 80 professionals and main activities related to M&A, companies and assets valuations and fairness opinions, as well as with Kroll, disputes, investigations, and cybersecurity services. My usual client are Brazilian family-owned companies, and we advise them in a structured M&A process, in the company valuation, identification, and approach to potential investors, and the whole negotiation process until the closing of a transaction. In 2020, given all the pandemic and COVID-19, we also, based on our corporate finance expertise, are also helping with debt and capital raising needs for the clients.
Thank you. Could you give us an overview about M&A outlook in the coming months and in which sectors you see more opportunities for investment?
M&A and the whole capital markets in Brazil are quite active, Sueli. IPOs and follow-ons are expected to be big this year, breaking previous year numbers. Gathering all announced transactions in the country during the last years, in M&A, until 2018, we had an average of around 800 transactions announced. This number is relatively stable until 2019, when we increased it and moved to a new level, having more than 1,100 transactions announced in one single year. This was a consequence, in my understanding, of the country improvements in 2019 and an aggressive agenda of structural reforms, like the pension one, but also when we started to address the tax and administrative reforms. In terms of foreign investors, their share was almost 50-50 and well-balanced until 2019. But we see now 2020, the local investors are the main ones doing deals in Brazil. Of course, the pandemic slowed all the M&A process and investment decisions, but we predict to have a very good activity in these last months of 2020 and should see numbers like the ones in 2018 and 2017, around 800 transactions announced. What I see is that the M&A activity is speeding up very quickly, and who knows Brazil is doing investments. Not only the Brazilians, but also foreign investors that are already present in the country. We do have some buy-side mandates that we are working on of investors coming to Brazil and looking for opportunities. Companies that also find themselves in financial stress are looking for investments and for continuing and strengthening their operations in this month. So the perspectives are quite good for all sectors. There is no one specific sector of M&A activity in Brazil, and this is good for the country and for the whole economic activity. It goes from consumer to industrials, retail to beverage and food, information technology, healthcare. All the sectors are very active in Brazil. And I would not like to mention also the infrastructure sector and logistics, we do see an aggressive program of the government in concessions and privatizations, and the money for these investments are going to come from the private investors. This is critical, and that's where the financial investors play a critical role in investing in Brazil.
That's wonderful. Thank you. And I see that you have an optimistic perspective about Brazil. What are the takeaways and the lessons learned?
I believe that we have to be optimistic, right? We in Brazil are living today a good business environment. We have to recollect that real interest rates in Brazil are very low. The basic interest in Brazil has never been so low at 2%. The perspective and consumption and demand of the market is there. That's why Brazil has to be, and Brazilians and investors have to be aggressive in terms of looking for the future of the country. I'm quite optimistic for the end of 2020 and 2021. Who knows Brazil, as I said, is investing and doing business with the country. I believe the key lessons learned and takeaways is resilience is the first one. We can see the future and the next months quite positive. Local knowledge is key to operate in any country, but in Brazil more particularly, right? I do see that who knows the country is doing business. We see the potential and rapid consumption growth. This is quick. This is important. We know there are challenges, and it's not only one. There are few challenges of the government, of the investors, when we go out to address the tax and administrative reforms and other reforms that the country needs. But what we see is that our clients in the process that we are devising on buy side or sell side, or about strategic investors or financial ones, right, are positive about the country. This is why we are seeing a very active capital markets and also the M&A investments.
Very good. Thank you so much, Alexandre, for spending the time with us today, for your steadfast support of the mission of the Brazil-Florida Business Council, for your active participation in our initiatives. So we really appreciate that. So at this point, I would like to turn over to you for your final comments.
Thank you very much, Sueli. Once again, it's a great pleasure to be with you. We have been together for almost 3 years now, and since the first moment we started having conversation with the Brazil-Florida Business Council, we have been active and learning with the whole network that the Brazil-Florida Business Council brings to us. It's not only a business relationship, but also personal one, that in difficult times that the ones that we are having today, in terms of restrictions, are even more important. We have to thank you for your work and all the team that work with us in the Brazil-Florida Business Council.
Thank you so much for your kind words, Alexandre, and stay well. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.